Okay, Kristen, you're next. Okay. Without the storms and rain, life would cease to be. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing a big giant tree, huge tree, just beautiful. Like it's on a hill, the sun is shining. They're really focused in on the tree. Okay, so it's going in and there's like a nest. So there's birds, or there's a bird in the nest, and then there's some eggs that's in the nest. Okay, and it's saying so she's protecting, she's protective of these eggs, doesn't want anything to harm them. Okay, so then I see that there's like a snake that's like coming up the tree. And so this bird is like, oh, you're not getting my eggs. And so she's freaking out. And she goes over and she pushes the snake off and he lands on the ground and she gets back in her nest and sits on the eggs. Okay. Okay, and then now that bird is turning into the sun. Um, and it's like saying, go away from me, go away. But the sun, it's talking to the darkness. Okay, so what I'm understanding about this is like the sun doesn't need to tell anything to go away. It just the darkness just flees from the sun because it has no choice. Okay, now they're going into something else, and I'm seeing like math equations on a chalkboard, and it's like a very confusing equation that's going on, and the result at the end is just zero. Okay, and so then this teacher is standing there having this huge equation and then the result is zero. And the students that are listening in are like, we did all of that work to end up with nothing. And the teacher's like, no, 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 that's not the point. It's not about the number that you get at the end. It's that you learned how to do all of this. It wasn't about what we got. It wasn't about the result. It's that you learned all of this, but they're only focused at the number that they got at the end. Okay, so then the teacher's like kind of like, oh, the kids don't get it. So she's sitting down at her table and is thinking like, how can this be? It's happening again. She's saying it's happening again. Like they don't understand, they don't understand me, they don't understand what I'm trying to teach them. Okay, and then she's super frustrated and she's like, okay, I'm just gonna like drink a glass of wine and just forget about this. Maybe it'll just go away. And so then she's like, okay, I'm just gonna relax. Okay, so then I see her going into this meditation, and then there's like this beam of light that is coming down and like illuminating her mind. Okay, and then she's understanding, oh, it's not about me. It's nothing that I'm doing. These students, they just actually don't understand. They don't have the same information. They don't have the same knowledge as me. So then instantly she's feeling relieved of not thinking that she's doing something wrong. Okay, and then she's like, okay, I'm in the wrong school. So now she leaves this little school and she's going to this bigger university where people are like, oh, you're finally here. And they're so excited that she's there. And they just want to absorb all this knowledge and all this information that she has. And they understand it. They really get it. And so she's like, okay, this is amazing. I just realized I was in the wrong place because she's doing absolutely nothing different than she was before. She's just in a different environment. Okay. So then now they're showing kind of that same scene with the tree and the hills and the sun and the whatnot, but now there's a path that's going through it. And she's walking on this path and can see up ahead that there's a rainbow, that there's the sun. It looks really bright, like the future looks really good. And she's seeing the past, but as the tree over there, and it's like, oh yeah, I used to really have to protect myself. I don't have to do that anymore. And then walking on this side and like, oh, I used to be really misunderstood, but now I'm in the right place and I'm not misunderstood anymore. saying choice making, uh, always putting yourself and your happiness as the number one choice because it uplifts everybody else. And sometimes people think it's selfish, but it's not. They're like showing a group of people, and if a group of people were sitting around and they were not happy, it's like, oh, you wouldn't want to hang out with them. You would go over to that group of people over there that are sitting and that are really happy. And the difference between these two groups is that this one is kind of living their life for other people, and these ones are living it for their self, um, which is aligning them with their purpose and giving them clarity. And then the right people are coming to them. So it was kind of showing like over here, the people who are doing things for other people, the circle is kind of small and it's the same and it's a little dark and it's the same thing over and over and over. Whereas this one, there's happiness, there's joy, and there's lots of people, and there's just more and more people that keep coming. Okay, and then I'm seeing this piece of art on the wall, like a painting. It reminds me of this tarot card where they're kind of walking outside the church. Um, and it's just saying, come in the door, come inside. We welcome you. And so then these people are walking into this church, this building, and there's just so much peace and calm in there. And they're just giving time to themselves. It's like they go in there and they sit in there by themselves, although there's two people, but for like weeks, like 3 weeks, like they're just like taking time by themselves. And there's nobody else that's coming in. They're just giving themselves time to really understand their own energy and what it is that they actually want and need. Okay, and then by the end of it, they're like super happy, they're smiling, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad we did this." And then they go outside and everything is just it's like someone's coming out of a wedding that they just had and they're so happy and there's all these people who are around and celebrating and they're just saying, "We're so glad you're here." Um okay, and then they're going and getting in the car, like the wedding car where you pull the cans behind the car. And it's like, no, now that I am who I am and I really know it, I want to announce it. Like I want people to hear me coming. Uh, okay, and so then people do. So it's like this car is coming and it's making all this noise, but all these people are like, oh, they're coming, they're almost here, and they're so excited. And then this car pulls up and they get out, and everyone's just celebrating and so happy and saying, everyone is welcome. All is welcome. And all is well now. So taking time for yourself is the most important thing you can do today and every day. And saying if you don't have the time, then make it. And if you make it consistent the same time every day that you give to yourself, it's easier to bring into your schedule. But it's not just time for self, it is like intentional. This is what I am doing with this time. And it's only for me. But it's never only for us. It always benefits everyone when we do this. The inner work. What else? Okay. So then they're talking about fear too and saying, it's all gone. It's all gone. And so this seems maybe that this is after this period of a few weeks when they took time for themselves. But with it all gone, there's so much like peaceful, expansive energy to like just fill with light and love instead. Something about worries. Saying you could put your worries up on a cloud and you could just blow them away and just thank them for being there, but don't give them any time or attention. And silently being thankful for all things all day will change the way you feel completely. So I see somebody like walking down the sidewalk and like, oh, I'm so thankful that there's a sidewalk to walk on. Oh, I'm so thankful that the grass is green. Oh, I'm so thankful that the trees are green and beautiful. And then I see butterflies flying around, and it's just saying the more thankfulness you have, the more things you'll have to be thankful for. Okay, that's it. All right.
Thank you, Michelle. That was like
Welcome.
such an illustration, like vivid in my mind. And this is crazy. I wrote this down as soon as we started talking FUD, which to me stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Mm.
And I just this morning, I don't know where to start. So I woke up and I've been meeting and deciding that I really need to get back to my rituals, and I've started sprinkling them in, and I don't, I'm not too far away from where I want to be, but I sat down with a book of poetry this morning and opened right up to a poem that's meaningful to me. Um, and I had to close my eyes after I read the first stanza because it felt like my heart chakra was just green, and it started swirling like with vines, like there was green and vines, and it was coming through like in oceanic movements like through my heart, but I just was overwhelmed by it to the point of tears. I was just sitting in my living room, thought like I need this time. I need to give this to myself. And I've just had I work with people. I'm a massage therapist, and for
Sweet.
the last, really the last couple of years, I've just been pouring into those people that are so meaningful to me, and then allowing myself to not book with people who I don't feel like are. I try to hold space for everyone, but they're not um, energetically. Just I don't believe like people take my energy, but I just have given as much as I can to them, and I've been struggling with telling myself it's okay
Mhm.
to let those people find another path, which is
Mhm.
not through me, and that's okay.
Mhm.
And then also, it's winter time, and we always get asked like, how are things going? What's going on with you right now? And we lost my mom, died in September.
Mhm.
Sarah and my mom and Grace's grandma.
Mhm. So
And
sad.
then I've the tree in her backyard is so symbolic. I know Sarah probably thought about that too. As soon as you said a huge tree, that's exactly where my mind went, was sitting at the base of her tree. Um, and the definite protection with the eggs is symbolic, but it connected, it landed on me heavily with my son, who's experienced a lot of loss and trying to wrestle with what's beyond this realm. And, he's 13, and I just want to hold space for his freedom of like discovery of that. We have a sick pet who's going to pass probably soon. And so he's just had a lot. So I think a lot of the things that you said, just I go, yeah, that's the storybook for what's going on with me right now. Um, but the ritual part of it, taking
Mhm.
care of myself so that I can, you know, bring along the crowd. There've been some shifts happening where I work also, where, I'm being asked to like lead into we're going to open a membership for our spa area. And what does that look like? And, I've been there quite a few years, and maybe a little bit hesitant to really step forward and say, this is what I see, because I do see exactly what it should be, but I don't want to be bossy, or I'm a little bit insecure about, well, everyone else has so much to bring, you know, and I invite that, but I also see where I could be, you know, the leader of that because I've been asked to because other people see it in me. So I need to step into that. And it brings me joy. I've always felt of myself as the sun, like I feel the radiance, especially when I'm sharing and giving of other people. Is that because I'm a Leo? Wait, is that what you're laughing at, Grace? Because I think we both agree.
Leos are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So thank you.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
some
Thank you.
definite takeaways from that. It was fun.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. That was awesome. Um, yeah, definitely stepping into that leadership role when you see it, like when you get the vision, I bet you're not the only one either. You know, if other people are involved and when you speak it up, then they're gonna be like, oh, that's exactly what I saw too, which is just confirmation. Like everything that I told you is just confirmation of what you already know. It's just the spirit saying, you already know. You know exactly what you need to do. That's all that it is. So that's what you'll be doing for people too, when you step into that is just, and when you see it and you see it so clearly, it is the way, so
Yeah.
it'll benefit everybody, not just, yourself.
Thank you
Yeah.
for putting that into words.